Let's imagine this. You're playing a sport, and all of a sudden you hit your arm on a hard surface. Through this, you feel as if something has been misplaced. Guess what? It's your bone. Your bones are important to your health, and on today's episode of the Healthy Human Podcast, I will be talking about everything to do with your bones and why they're essential in maintaining good health. Besides being a dog treat, what actually are bones? Bones are tissue reinforced with calcium and collagen, which is a protein that provides framework for the bone. These two in combination allow for your body to be flexible, strong, and resistant to any threats that could harm your vital organs. In the human body, we have 206 bones, each with unique shapes and sizes. Within your body, you have two types of bones, cortical and trabecular. Rather than going too deep into each one, it's important to consider what our bones do for our body as a whole. Transitioning from what I said earlier, your bones do a lot for your body. Your bones undergo what is known as a deposit and withdrawal process of bone tissue in order to help your bones become stronger and bigger as you age. Remember when I said bones protect your vital organs? Your rib cage is an optimum example of this instance. Organs such as the lungs and the heart rest right below the rib cage in your thoracic cavity. The reason why this bone is there is because if these organs are damaged, it could lead to an almost instant death. Therefore, the rib cage is there in place to ensure no damage to these organs. The same can be said about the skull and the brain, as the brain is also important to your survival. Equally as important as these bones are is the ability to produce blood. Your bone marrow is where your white and red blood cells are produced. For those who don't know, the key difference between both of them is red blood cells are more towards delivering oxygen and other things throughout the body, while white blood cells work more towards defending your body from bacteria and viruses. If your bone does not produce any of what I mentioned, then your body will not be stable and will be unable to function due to a loss of blood. This can lead to severe conditions, which is what we're going to be talking about now in this portion of the podcast. One of the conditions that I vaguely described earlier is the result of your bones not producing enough blood. This condition is called aplastic anemia. In this condition, your bone marrow doesn't make enough red blood cells, white blood cells, and something called platelets, which are small colorless cell fragments in our blood, which form clots and stop or prevent bleeding. Having fewer white blood cells, for example, can lead to your body becoming more susceptible to infections and diseases. Having less red blood cells than normal causes hemoglobin, the part of the body that carries oxygen throughout your whole circulatory system, to drop. These are very critical for life, which is why treatments have been developed to prevent these. Innovations in technology have allowed for medications to be developed such as leukine, as well as blood transfusions and stem cell transplants to solve this problem too. Another condition that's very common that can arise from your bones is osteoporosis. In this condition, your bones become weak and are more prone to breaking and fracturing. With this in mind, the condition is more commonly found in elderly, more specifically being found in women than men. Treatments for this condition have been developed with drugs such as alendronate, as well as vitamin and dietary supplements being given as well. Tangentially, I found it interesting to know that diabetes can actually affect your bones. People with diabetes have very weak bones, which can make them more prone to fractures. Medications to help prevent diabetes, such as insulin injections, can actually cause their fracture risk to increase. However, we have found ways to get through this using drugs like metformin, which are specifically designed to counter diabetes while ensuring good bone health. Lastly, I would like to talk about ways to keep your bones healthy. Having foods high in both calcium and vitamin D can be helpful in the maintenance of bones and the development of them. The reason why it's advised to drink milk is because milk is high in calcium and can really help your bones become stronger. Besides that, I can't reiterate this enough, but exercise is extremely important to maintaining your bones. Committing to this routine will stimulate your bones into producing more bone tissue, which is obviously going to be better for you. Once again, this has been Rohan, live on the Healthy Human Podcast. I hope you enjoyed learning about your bones and why they are important. If any of you watching this video have any ideas for future videos, please feel free to comment them down below. Be sure to tune into the next episode where I'll continue to explore the wonderful world of health. Until next time, remember, happiness is the product of good health.